up? It's Doug Cunnington here. What's up? It's Doug Cunnington here from Niche Site Project. Just doing like a little ad hoc live stream. This was unplanned. Doing a couple things. I'm going to talk about scheduling my pre-launch course material just a little bit. So I'm launching my course, 5-figure niche site about Amazon affiliate marketing in about a month. So I'm doing a little planning right now. Actually, I've kind of had the loose planning for a while, but I thought, hey, I'll turn on the camera. I'm going to be doing something perhaps slightly interesting on the behind the scenes type situation here. This is meta. I'm telling you about like what I'm doing. See, we got a couple people on. That's cool. What's up? Shujan from Pakistan. I like that. That rhymes if I'm pronouncing it correctly. If not, I apologize. So a couple things. One, just my voice is too low. My mic is super fuzzy. Thanks for letting me know. What's up, Jeff? The deal pot. All right, let me check one thing. I do have a little microphone on here, but it has proven to be not that great. All right, just flip the switch. Can you hear me any better? Please up. Good to have you on. I do have the ability to just unplug this thing, but we'll see. Can you hear me a little bit better now? I know there's like a 15-second delay or so. A little bit better. Polina, can you hear me okay? And, one thing, I'm just going to unplug this in a second here. The fuzz is gone, but it's still too low. Noel, thanks for letting me know. All right, let's just unplug this bitch here and see if we can get it. Is this little thing here. It has proven to be okay at times. I have another microphone, but it's corded. It's kind of a pain in the butt. It's always fun to work on tech issues. All right, is that any better? Jeff, still fuzzy, but it's less than before. All right, and then we'll do, okay, better. All right, thanks everybody. You're very patient. And you know what's funny? It's like I can't win. Now my phone's telling me, hey, it's a very bad connection. I'm going to move closer to the router in a second. All right. So we worked through the issues. I'll just try and talk a little loud. Okay. So here's a couple things going on. I will tell you real quick. I was working on stuff, and I've actually built up a little bit of a queue of videos on YouTube, but I thought I had something scheduled today and it just slipped my mind. So I have been going to like publish a new post, a new video on YouTube like 5 days a week, and sometimes those are live streams. We're getting a little bonus one in today with this live stream, so that's cool. But anyway, I just published something. If you have the opportunity to take a look, go watch it. And so we got like 7 people on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move here in a second to another room where we have a little bit more space and more people are hopping on. So if you're just joining, I'm going to talk about some of the pre-launch shit that I'm working on for my course, 5-figure niche site. It comes out in like a month or so. Some of the people on are actually students in the course already. So, like Jeff, for example. Jeff, if you need to set up a one-on-one meeting, just give me a shout. I think you have the link and we can go through it. But I have a big calendar right here, which I thought I was going to use way more than I actually ended up using it. But that's cool. It's still nice to have like physical paper to write on and stuff. So I'm going to get this thing. We're going to walk into the other room and we need some permanent markers here. So I'm going to grab a couple of these babies right here. And we're going to walk out of here so you'll be able to see a little bit of my desk. I should have moved my drink. I'm going to end up spilling something or dropping something. All right, when I walk, hopefully everything's going to be cool. There's a big light kit behind me, which is nice. We're just going to go into the other room here. And I'll have a little bit more space right here-ish. And the angle's probably funny. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to face you towards this calendar, what I have right here in front of me. And hopefully I'll actually be able to
turn this angle down. I didn't test beforehand, so this is all right, great. This thing is not falling over or anything. Everything's great. And can people still hear me? If so, I'm just amazed. All right. And there's a mess in here too. I didn't really prepare. This is really off the cuff here. So this calendar is showing September here. So it may be hard to read, but September right here. And of course, we are at this point. This is today right here. This is the 26th. That is what today is I'm recording this live right now. Now the interesting thing is I've had like relatives in town quite a bit. So I've had to plan things ahead, and kind of funny, I mean, I'm a project manager and planning is supposed to be one of my strengths, but a lot of times I sort of have a lot of slack in my schedule, so I kind of just like work haphazardly unless I have a deadline. The course for me is a really good deadline situation. I see the recommendation to have a stand. Yeah, that's a great recommendation. I would love to have a stand. So one thing, I had like my sister and brother-in-law come in on like the 9th, and they stayed all the way until the 16th. I only did a little bit of work on like 1 or 2 days, like right here. So, I mean, really this week leading up to it, their arrival, I like did a bunch of planning to make sure that I had video scheduled. So that I'm kind of doing the same thing right now because my in-laws, my wife's parents, are showing up on Thursday, and they're going to stay until the beginning of the following week. Actually, until Wednesday of the following week. So they're here for just under 6 days or so. And that'll take us to like, yeah, they leave here. So that is kind of, you know, in the crosshairs, and that's going to take up a decent amount of time for me. I'm going to try not to work too much, just in general, so I could be present in the moment and all that good stuff. Now, here's the part that you should care about. So the course launch, yeah, Stan would be great. So a course launch will get me several things. The course launch happens in the tail end, right? So the course goes live here on the 23rd and then closes on the 27th. What I have is some basically what I'm calling like pre-launch stuff, right? So I have pre-launch things happening, and some of that is via email. Some of it is going to come out in video on YouTube. Some of it is going to be from different people. I have a few affiliates working with me, and that's kind of some of the stuff I'm working on. So like I contacted some affiliates that I haven't had contact with in a couple of weeks, and basically they're on board. They have the materials they need. They're, you know, checking their affiliate area within the course section so that they can basically like get the links they need to. They could have the information they need, and so on. One of my friends, Dom at Human Proof Designs, he's, you know, he's gonna like take some screenshots, do some reviews of inside the course, so he could like show people what it's really like in there. So that's pretty cool. And a neat thing with Dom is he also has some form of a course, but he and I have a different take on things. So technically we're competitors, though I have a focus more on the course and he has a focus on selling pre-made sites and providing services around sites. But we have the same audience and we work well together, and we don't treat it like we're competitors. We just treat it like you know, people that could help each other. So he's a good guy. I've known him for years, and there's a few other affiliates in the similar situation. So the thing is, you know, the course is launching in this period here, And basically, I already have exactly what I need to send for emails on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 2 on Friday. So like I already know exactly what I'm going to send in those emails, and it's tens of thousands of words, right? Part of the reason why I could like tell you and publish like what I'm doing is it's very hard to replicate a course launch, and I mean it's pretty tough to sell a course. It's hard to build an email list. Like every step of the way, there's like some basically seemingly insurmountable piece of work. So just creating the material of the course is, tens of thousands of words. The launch material is tens of thousands of words. And everything is like really intentional leading up to it. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned, but you may have noticed, Jeff, I know you've probably seen this before, but I almost always do a free mini course the week before. So I know some people like Adrian and a few other folks don't, or maybe you haven't seen it if you're newer to my channel, my email list and stuff, you haven't seen this pre-launch material, which is actually it's a great course, right? I have students who have already taken my course. They redo the mini course just because it's a good exercise in understanding where you're at. And it takes you on a bit of a journey. Like some of it is hard, right? You have to put time into it. And I remember you going through this stuff, Jeff, and I know we don't have a huge number of people because this was an unscheduled thing, but like I said, I mean, the mini course is good enough where people actually like sign up for it or not sign up for it, but they participated in it even though they've already done it before. So that material comes out this pre-launch week. Now, the other thing that I'm doing and that I basically have been doing for a while is webinars, and this is like the main thing that I was going to try and figure out today. So I'm doing webinars on Thursdays. So this is part of like my live stream stuff, and there's going to be a webinar every single week here, even on the launch week. And I typically don't do a pitch even when I'm selling the course, but I may put in a soft pitch here. But it really doesn't matter because I've spent all this time leading up to it. And there is a webinar this Thursday, so if you're not signed up or if you're watching this later, you can go to nichesiteproject.com. And I think if you go check out a blog post, there's a link at the bottom of all the blog posts. And here's what I'm going to figure out today. So this week I'm actually there's a keyword research. Yep, that's right, Yassine. I'm doing a webinar on the 28th. So I'm doing keyword research here on the 28th. And I actually wanted to figure out what topics I'm going to do. So I'm probably going to do, I'll probably do content here. And by the way, I've done, probably close to 20 unique different types of webinars, some on various topics, which some people don't care about. Some, maybe it's the wrong audience. And I may throw one in here that's not perfect, but if people attend it and they connect with that webinar in a certain way, then that's really good. And I'll put content here and we'll call it really we'll kind of focus on creating content. That's what we'll do on the 12th. And hiring for content. That's what we'll do on the 19th. And for the week of, I'll probably do something on, let's see, probably the perfect Amazon review. And if you've been around for a while, you'll notice that I go back to the ones that have been good. So I add a new one every now and then, but I've created material and I go through and improve it over time. And I get better at presenting it also. And, some people, they just like to attend these sessions, so they pick something up a little different each time. And I can't think of another topic here, but maybe something like, here's a ever popular is SEO for niche sites. So easy enough, I have all this scheduled out, and what I'll do additionally is let my affiliates know each week, like, hey, here's the schedule, here are the links for each of the individual ones. You can send out whenever you want. You can share on social, you could put it wherever you want. And I don't pressure the affiliates to send anything out specifically. I give them email copy based on what I've seen that works. And basically, they have the option to send this stuff out if they want. I'm going to turn my camera on here. So basically, they have the ability, if they want to send out emails like for a webinar if they like, but they don't have to. They can send out emails just as I wrote them, like basically the promotion emails. They can take those as they are, and I give them full flexibility. And I don't have that many affiliates because I don't I want to make sure I know and trust whoever I'm working with. So, there's probably a lot of other people I could work with, but I just haven't developed a relationship with them yet. Now, one thing that did happen when I first developed my course, I would get people that, started some internet marketing blog. They basically have no followers and they wanted my course for free. So they would say, hey, I want to be an affiliate. Can you let me into the course and I'll review it and then I'll publish it on my blog? And basically I would, ask them, I would take a look at their blog to see if they had followers or comments or anything like that. It's pretty clear, right away, there's not much content. And at that point, I know they're basically a scammer or they're just trying to take advantage of me, which is not cool. And, if they say, hey, I have an email list and a bunch of followers, then, I could work with them. We could see if it's a good fit. But even then, there are people that are not folks that I want to associate with. And at that point, I can, work with them or not. So, cool. And what I'll do is, I guess, schedule out the emails. I mean, I'm looking down at the calendar, but, I need to schedule the emails. I need to make sure each of the webinars are done. And basically, I've done most of the work up front, and I could focus on a huge part of launching such a course, which is customer service. So I have one person helping me on some of the, common questions that I may get via email, but essentially I don't have anyone on staff. I don't have a VA, a general VA that does my email for me. So any questions that people send in via chat, any questions that people have that they send in just to my email account, I see all of those. And then inevitably there's always some people that have some issues with checking out, or maybe they purchased the course and then they decide, hey, it's not for them, so I have to process refunds. So there's a lot of work around that. And I haven't talked about this either, but I was just thinking about it as I'm chatting here. So there are some people that will try to negotiate with me. And when I first launched the course, I mean, I'm a nice guy. I try to work with people, right? So if people are like, hey, I can't afford it, I really want to take the course, I've been following you for a long time, blah, 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 and they have some, story, I'll humor the story. I'll listen to them for a minute and see what they have to say. What happened was basically every single person that I ever gave an exception or worked with them, they either refunded their money or they actually filed a claim against me in PayPal, which is bad for me, right? So if you file a claim against someone, it's a negative case against you. And I've only had, a few of those, but basically it's a really kind of a jerk move to do. So anytime that I gave someone an exception or I tried to work with them specifically, they ended up screwing me over. So I don't negotiate at all. If you miss the deadline, if you want to sign up the next day, you can't. I say, no, you can't do it. And I think I got some inspiration from Ramit Sethi over at I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And basically, he had the same experience. So I heard him say that, but I didn't listen to it until I went through a few launches where people screwed me over. And then I was like, hey, you know what? Like it was literally like 100% of the time. If I gave someone an exception, they found a way to make it bad on me. In fact, in a recent situation, they signed up for the cheapest level of the course, and then they were a customer service nightmare. They sent multiple emails per week, and then after the refund period, I have a lenient refund period of 60 days. Basically, no questions asked. Things happen. I understand. You got a problem? It's cool. So he went through, did all the material, and then filed the chargeback with me on PayPal. And he took advantage of the policy, which is, it's not built for someone to take the full course and then ask for a refund. So kind of a jerk move overall, and I won't ever let him buy any one of my products again. I mean, frankly, I want to help people, right? But I don't want to be taken advantage of at the same time. So, okay, cool. I see a couple comments. Adrian mentions it's not nice, and then Yassine says, jerks will learn the most from your course and then ask for a refund and then sell the information to their audience. Yeah, that's kind of the situation in a lot of ways. So, all right, cool. I'm going to end it up here. Hopefully you got something out of the behind the scenes here. And like I said, I did forget to publish something at 10 a.m. today, so I just published it a few minutes ago. Head over to that video. I talk about content for niche sites. So anyway, we'll see you next time. And hey, you know what? I think tomorrow is supposed to be a scheduled live session at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So check it out then. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'll figure something out. All right, see ya. Thanks for joining up.